I'm Tiffany Gourley Carter, Policy Counsel at the National Council of Nonprofits, and this is your nonprofit, nonpartisan election tip on engaging specific communities. With us is Lydia Camarillo, President of the Southwest Voter Registration Education Project. Lydia, let's just start with the basics. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Share with you what Southwest Voter does. It's a organization that started 50 years ago. We're celebrating our 50 year this year on July, and we were modeled after the NAACP Voter Fund with the idea that by registering voters, we were empowering communities, and through their vote, positive change in the communities would become a reality.
Let's talk a little bit about your community. So you focus largely on mobilizing the Latina community. What have you been doing, during this election year to really resonate either with your messaging or your events with your groups?
The idea is that by registering voters at the high schools, the community colleges, the churches, places where Latinos hang out, we can ensure that Latinos are empowered. Our goal is simple. We approach a high school to invite us in to register them. There's 33 states that allow us to register online. Texas is not one of them, so Texas is the exception, where we must be there, and there's some requirements where the volunteer or the staff must be deputized. It's a legal requirement by a statute, so we follow the rules. But the messaging is simple. Through your vote, you are making some change. But let's remember that we're registering high school students, and high school and college students and young people are considered a very difficult group who doesn't always vote. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. Young people do care about their lives. So one message that I think resonates with them is we don't tell them, and they don't like to be told what to wear, what music to listen to. So if you don't want someone to decide your future, then turn out and vote and make a decision through your vote on who will be representing your community.
What kind of tips do you have for other nonprofits that, are focused on inclusivity and engagement from specific groups, like, whether it's with high school students or other demographics?
I think the first thing is listen to the community. If you're working with high school students or college students, listen to them and see what's important for them so your message will resonate. But if you're also inviting other communities, in the case of Southwest Voter, we learn from the Black community through the NAACP Voter Fund, and we listen to how they function. In fact, the late Congressman John Lewis actually provided training to our first president and founder, Willie Velasquez, on how to approach voters. And so I think it's important that we listen, that we understand. When we work in states like Arizona and Colorado and New Mexico, where the Native American community is still lives there and works there and is sustaining its communities and its culture, we have to respect the leader of each tribal and ask him, how would you like us to work with you? Do you want us to help you share what we know and you do it yourselves, or do you want to partner with us?
What do you think nonprofits should focus on right now and in the coming weeks and in the coming months before the elections? What should we be doing to reach these communities?
But what communities can be doing right now and other nonprofits is looking to see at the deadlines of when the voter registration is, following the law as to what states are required. If it's a state that is required, that allows for online voter registration, that's a lot of wonderful opportunities. And those states include New York, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, New Mexico, Colorado. There's just so many states that allow for online. There's 33 out of the 50 that allows us an opportunity to not necessarily be in their communities, but reaching out and allowing for the people to be registered to vote. I'm always asked, why don't you focus more on get out the vote, on persuading people to turn out to vote? And I remind them that if we're not registered, then we cannot vote. So it has to be, for us at Southwest Voter, it's a parallel strategy. You must always register those that are eligible. And we tell people how to register, but also what the requirements are.
To close this out, do you have any other last thoughts or tips on how to get these groups to the polls?
Well, first, be positive. And when you speak to a voter, there's lots of challenges. Make sure they know what the challenges are. but remind them that it's better to organize and turn out to vote, to make sure that we register them to vote. When we phone bank or contact a voter via the door or emails or texting or through social media, we remind them that it's our responsibility to make sure we also register and turn out our family and friends, so that for your vote, you might be turning out another 10. Let's do that in this cycle. You'll be able to change the world with a little bit of contribution from your community and the efforts that you put forward. It has a long-standing impact.
Thank you, Lydia, for the quick nonprofit, nonpartisan election tip on engaging specific demographics and communities. I'm Tiffany Gourley Carter. Make sure you're registered and please go vote.